Anyhow, moving back to news in India, at an annual event that brings together economic editors and other members of the media from across the country for a dialogue with the government, the Finance Minister P Chidambaram has said today that India is nowhere near a recession as usual. He also talked about liquidity, inflation and his expectations on GDP growth. Let's hear more on what he had to say.
I hope that the worst is over.
For over 2 hours, the usually elusive Finance Minister patiently conveyed his ministry's plans to financial journalists from across the country. His message?
India is nowhere near a recession. The growth estimate for the first quarter of 2008-09 is 7.9%, and the second quarter will undoubtedly show high positive growth.
The minister reiterated that increased liquidity should mean increased flow of credit, and he will meet chiefs of banks from across the country after their meet with the RBI governor. But if you read between the lines, he did drop a hint about further easing of interest rates.
If the rate of inflation continues to decline, the policy rates may also moderate and the bias in favor of growth may deepen.
For the first time, the finance minister admitted that fiscal deficit will take another year to drop to 3% of the total GDP. He ruled out an immediate infrastructure fund and instead stressed on speedy completion of existing projects.
Increasing expenditure in the infrastructure sector is an important part of the counter-cyclical measures that are being contemplated to address the impact of the global slowdown. On the whole, the general outlook continues to be one of cautious optimism.
What's also interesting is that the finance minister compared the performance of his government to the previous one, trying to drive home the point that on an average growth has been greater by 3% per year under his watch. But the key takeaway could be the fact that he did not rule out a rate cut. And moderating inflation could further increase hopes of industry bodies in that context. In New Delhi, Haris Usman for NDTV.